Friends, welcome to the today's session on networking and communities of practice. This is a very important topic which is close to my heart in the fact that creating my famous project was electronic classroom for undergraduate students and way back in 2007. And it was basically a community of practice of a teacher and a classroom. Those days, the internet was very slow. Majority of people didn't have an email. And so at that time, it was something like a very new concept with 30 or 40 or 50 students. And we used to, it was between a teacher and a student. I mean, my own students in pathology. And we used to teach whatever topic we used to teach. Now these things have become ubiquitous, but at that time, and that gradually grew and grew and grew into first then is Punjab state level and then the national level and then NCME 2007 came and then it became go bigger and bigger and bigger. Now about 24,000 medical teachers. But there are also a number of other communities of practice which I run, that is on pathology, on different topics of pathology, then on artificial intelligence in healthcare, then on medical informatics, and so on and so forth. At a time, I mean, sometimes I'm running so many groups. I mean, currently if you only the WhatsApp group is about 250. The Telegram groups are about 40, Facebook groups, and so on and so forth. I mean, the number is exponential and it keeps on growing. And we hope, I mean, recently we even created a group for our own local community called who want to eat properly, the food properly. I mean, it was a numbers based. And food, Sattvic food, which is that makes me a little. I'll be speaking some topics from my own experience and some from various books which I have picked up. But yes, I personally feel this topic has the potential of growing exponentially and creating a change nationwide and raising the level of awareness of knowledge in our country very drastically. I mean, we are all parts of certain groups these days. So I will cover what is a community of practice, the energy flows and dynamics, moving from conversations to collaborations, community cultures, behavior, what makes this a successful community, measuring the success and return on investment, and some lessons learned. So what is a community of practice? I'm in the chat, I'm sharing a link, which I would like all of you click on it, and we will just like to see your answers. Just type your one-word answer, or it is in the chat box. You can click on it and type. So the answers are a network of experts, a group having common collaborating, networking, troubleshooting, collaboration, mentoring, spreading positive interest-based group, common concern. Any more answers? Yes, to some extent, yes, all of you are correct. So we will go back to our slides. So basically, a community of practice is an environment which connects people and encouraging the sharing of ideas and experiences. And basically, this is internet or email is not necessary. I mean, it could be just a chopal in a village and where people sit and together over something, and it needs certain ingredients, and their people may be of different skill sets, and just like in food, different kinds of people. I mean, there may be doctors, of different specialties. There may be nurses, there may be IT specialists, there may be masons, there may be dentists or Ayush, or even just a financial expert, a manager, etc., etc. And it needs a community who are willing to sit together and share a common point of interest around which that community of practice evolves, and a place to meet. It could be offline or online, doesn't matter. Earlier, it used to be offline. If you remember, near Wardha, we have a place where Mahatma Gandhi used to live. It was just a hut, and that hut used to control the country. And a very spiritual experience comes when we go there. And all that place had a telephone line which was placed by the Viceroy of India to talk to Gandhi, and nothing else. I mean, he used to sleep on a floor and things like that. A facilitator, it could be me. And everyone must have some passion, above all, I mean, around that topic. And we have a community of practice ready, and something to discuss about, a solution to be found, some activity to be done, and it is there. And then a process to mix up what is there, and then we are ready with the solution. And there is an end result. As a result of that community of practice, we get certain solutions to our problems. The community of practice may be temporary, it may be permanent, it may have certain ups and downs, and depending upon why it was created and for what result, we get an end product. And what is new? So now a large number of people, they join hands. I mean, the numbers possible now is exponential. They may be local, they may be national, they may be global. We have communities of practice running 30,000, 50,000, a lakh of people. And so ultimately, this is some years back, when I created communities and I saw certain things happening, and I did a course in cybernetics, and this is what I found, some correlation in quantum mechanics and the communities of practice, which resulted in MEU India. And
primitive matter, and there was universe started. Now, when this universe started, it was all the Higgs field, and there was a primitive matter, and that primitive matter, when the Big Bang took place, along the lines of E is equal to mc square, it formed the original matter. And this original matter, gradually evolution took place, and this original matter developed into early life from E is equal to mc square, followed by certain euglena or blue-green algae, and atoms. Before that, atoms were created, and these atoms led to certain formation of genes. These guanine, cytosine, adenine, I mean, they are all chemicals. And these chemicals, they came together and they formed unicellular organisms like amoeba, like algae, and gradually these unicellular organs, they developed into multicellular organisms, and along the path of evolution, there was the formation of the amphibians, the society. I mean, the amphibians came to the land and then gradually developed into apes, followed by man, and along with all its problems. And this phenomena continues into the solar system. What we saw at the level of unicellular organisms, at the level of DNA, and there is a macrocosm. Now, a single gene at the level of the microcosm, it undergoes mutation and it forms a tumor, and this tumor develops into spreads to metastasizes to all of the body, and it causes problems. Now, at the macrocosmic level, a single human being like Osama bin Laden or a Hitler starts thinking differently or behaving in a different manner, and then metastasizes from Afghanistan to New York. So there is a definite correlation between the macrocosmic level and the microcosmic level. Now, if we extrapolate it to a Gandhi, then a single human being changes the entire society. Or if you look at the microcosmic level, a change in the single gene leads to an athlete who can run better, or a single gene which produces a tall person. So basically, we have to focus on a small area, a single gene, a single point in this system, and see the interrelationships at microcosmic and macrocosmic levels.
Basically, what we find here that there are the topics around those communities are very successful where they focus on small areas. And since time immemorial, people have been creating communities around different topics. And we have societies, we have got which form networks. So communities of practice, they are not about bringing knowledge into an organization, but helping to grow the knowledge that we need internally within our organizations. And this very small area is like that gene around which spreads into the entire organization or the entire society or the country, and that is the community of practice. That community of practice spreads the knowledge, and it brings about, those collections of energy in the form of like-minded colleagues and peers. It allows you to share your experiences and learn from others. It allows you to collaborate. It allows you to achieve common outcomes and accelerates your learning and validates and builds on existing knowledge and good practice. Provides the opportunity to innovate and create new ideas. I'll give you an example of the MU India group. We started with something way back in 2007. And then we spread all over India, and it created a lot of subgroups, people having different like-minded thought processes, they came together, they shared experiences, they collaborated, and everybody gained. It accelerated everyone's learning. And in the process, lot of innovations took place. So we have to evolve from simple conversations to collaboration. And there is just degrees of transparency. We can ask people to join our list, join our forum, or join our community. And there is an increasing collaboration and transparency in the process. So a lot of communities of practice have developed over a year. We have got a WhatsApp group like community in every department. Or sometimes even we have a different one for cytology, different one for histopathology, different one for hematology within the pathology department. And also we create, whenever we create for accreditation, we have got another group. We create social networks with friends, and ultimately we focus on developing each other. And in a community of practice, it is the members who select themselves, and there is a passion and commitment for identification of the group's expertise. And as long as there is interest within the group keeps on moving. Most groups, they don't survive all the time. They come in spikes. And why do people engage in a community of practice? Because they are attractive purpose which grabs and retains attention. Depending upon a person's interest, like we have got one for medical education, people come from everywhere. A stage, initially there is a need to start it, but it all depends on the moderator or the people. Sometimes there are sub-moderators also, like Chinmay, and who keep on bringing knowledge and from everywhere, and then the group keeps on growing. After a certain stage, people ask you to add them, and then knowledge sharing takes place, and people keep on joining, people keep on leaving, and it is a continuous process, like energy coming, energy flowing, and moving in different directions. And the levels of engagement. There can be just browsing, they can register, they can comment, they can ask questions, they can write blogs, they can become mentors, they can become experts. And along the way, there is a waxing and waning interest. But this process, if you know it, this has the potential of creating lots and lots of communities of practice. We once had a Doctors Against Diabetes Telegram group. There is because there is quite often there is a loss of enthusiasm once the group falling. The interest starts falling. But again, the waves come and go, waves come and go. And this way it grows. And there are patterns of contribution. Always there are only one. This I have seen so many times, the 1990 rule. There are always 1% people who are active contributors, 9% who are occasional contributors. They come and go, and 90% people are just lurkers. They just read, they see what is happening. And after 80 groups, I have seen this phenomena so many times. We have created rules. Everybody must give a message once a week, etc., but it never happens. 90% people are just lurkers, and this is a documented thing, and everywhere this rule is there, so you have to accept it. And we should not expect that everybody will contribute. Some people will actively contribute, some people will occasionally contribute, and large number of people will be just participants or lurkers. But if you remove them, they will run after you, that please add me again. And this 1% rule is that only 1% people will create will create content, will take the initiative, 10% will interact with it. This is very important, and this 1% of people have to be taken care of. They have to be cajoled, they have to be given some incentive sometimes, rather quite often, and we must look after our content creator. Then there is one mankind, ever since the arrival of this, everybody having a mobile, quite often general conversations have almost disappeared. And everybody is glued to the screen. They have to be brought, they have to be brought into collaboration, discussions, and allow free flow of ideas amongst equals. I mean, there is one point for many groups for them to grow, that there is no hierarchy in these groups. And even the lowermost person in the hierarchy and the senior most, they all contribute, and they all, this way, it is a great social leveler. They may be sitting anywhere, any place, and they keep on contributing, and they ask. And so there is no majority wins or minority. I mean, all ideas, they rise. And so different places have different kinds of community rules, and it all depends on that community to create a rule. I mean, it all depends, a lot depends on the moderator also. Because I have seen in a large number of groups, we find there are arguments start over nothing. The moment the group starts rising beyond a certain limit, some people will post something that which others will object. So, and then if you remove that person, then again another lot of heart, people start fighting. And I even have one person even sent in court notice from a lawyer that why did you remove me, or why was this message posted against me. So Dr. Satyendra he also had a court notice that why did you post this message on the WhatsApp on this MU India group. So you have to be very, very careful. And after a certain stage, the moderator of the group, he has to create the rules. So there are many types of communities, helping communities, best practice communities, knowledge stewarding communities, innovation communities. They come up with breakthrough ideas, and they keep, I mean, these kinds of communities you keep on creating, I mean, on a daily basis. And sometimes there are just communities to collect some knowledge, and people are within these communities, different types of communities. There are drivers. I mean, having a conference, offline conference has cost 20 lakhs. Online costs nothing. And there are certain activities connecting, collecting, and listing, and also structuring. We create task force, we bring domain experts, we bring subcommittees, we give rewards for certain participation. And of course, there is socialization, which may be low-key, there may be offline, and there are different possibilities. I mean, this our Mendeley software, this has now created, I mean, since long it has created communities depending upon the topics of search of different people. And you can create them, and from all over the world, depending upon the topics which you search, they create communities. And I'm 110%, there's no choice that if mankind is going to reach, India is going to become the world, a good health system, or the world is going to overcome its health problems, it is the only way is to create communities. large and large number of communities, because ultimately we are all nothing more than particles of energy. And once these particles of energy interact with each other, it creates a better future. I mean, it has got a spiritual aspect also and a scientific aspect also. And of course, there are different kinds of roles in a community. There are the champions who starts or sponsors. There are the facilitators, and he consults, connects different kinds of people. There is a leader who serves as an integral role by energizing, by asking the people who are just lurkers but who have potential. Then there is a librarian kind of role who organizes the data. There is a technical steward who brings different kinds of tools to it, and there are experts, and there are members who are just there, who are the participants, for whom the knowledge management process takes place, is circulated, and the knowledge is pumped into a community. And of course, there are facilitators, leaders, active experts, occasional peripheral lurkers, transactionals, outsiders, and the life cycle of a community. I mean, the community is planned, startup, grows, sustains, and then gradually it closes. But there are cycles. I mean, within the same community, there is these cycles come repeatedly. Suddenly, once somebody comes up with a topic and the discussion keeps on growing, and sometimes it wanes. And so this is the way, just like life, it goes on. When there is the ECG is goes ups and downs, that means there is life. If it is flat, then there is death. So same way it is with community. So what makes it successful? It has a clear purposes. It creates a safe and trusted environment, committed to core groups of active participants, motivation, and blending, sometimes blending face-to-face activities, and an action plan. And here the role of the facilitator is very important. The facilitator monitors, it encourages participation, produces an action plan, and of course monitors success and impact. As ma'am was saying, this monitoring of the success criteria, it has to be there, and it cultivates the community. This is a very, very important role, and it all depends on the vision of. There has to be a vision to take the community in a certain direction. Lot of leadership skills come in, and a lot of people they come in, and there are multiple leaders, situational leaders, and the facilitator or coordinator of the community of practice must know these different leadership roles, and he should be able to use these different roles. And yes, a good facilitator and a coordinator, he has must have certain properties of leadership, super clear vision. Most important of these is he should have a bulletproof skin, because many bullets will come, many bullets will come, and he should have a bulletproof skin and remain committed to the goal of the community. Of course, with the advent of internet, we have facilitating they should have to be right mix of online and offline activities, meet people, different learning styles are needed. You have to become a guide. Sometimes a lot of administrative, technical support requirements, financial issues, they all come in the way. And we have to just keep on pushing. Our leadership skills have to be moved. And 9 steps to a successful community of practice: provide some face-to-face events are needed for which funding may be needed. There are community activities, and there are certain time has to be given, certain high level of expectations from sponsors, and engaging in developing good practice. There are a lot of tools now available to create communities, and knowledge of these technical tools is also very important. There are different types of communities depending on if they are unrecognized people who are not even aware that they are in a community, but it exists, and bootlegged. I mean, from unknown people within the organization, they sit on a table daily and they discuss certain things. Then there are legitimized communities that the administration brings it, or there are supported communities which come up, and people, they bring certain kind of official, like a NAC accreditation is coming, and you get a supported community. And there are institutionalized communities built into the process of organizations. I mean, these days, you can even have the whole college on a single Telegram group, or even the entire university. A Telegram group can have up to 2 lakh members. And lot of these communities, they have got chat, video, even survey and video calling, etc., etc. A lot of newer and newer possibilities are there. And for some people, when they join these communities, initially there is a culture shock, but the other members, they bring them together and the culture shock ends. And we have to create an environment for collaborative. Mankind will only progress if there is a collaborative possibility. No human being can be solo. And we have to learn to use various kinds of tools. And how do we evaluate? We can have some objective measures, as ma'am was saying, what we have done, decide on priorities, qualitative benchmarks, identify trends, that what did we do over the years. Sometimes I feel I should have a journal only for our own activities, because over the last 10, 15 years, a lot of activities have been done which we have not recorded, but they have happened. And we understand the community profile, observers, the contributors, the power contributors, the inactive people. Yes, Tata started Senior Citizens Group. Yes, and that is also a very, I mean, Ratan Tata himself bringing it into a model, and then that is, I mean, in Punjab also, I mean, we have certain groups. This Mahindra group is also coming up with certain senior citizen groups, and they are providing them with everything. I mean, whatever their needs are, starting from healthcare, for nurses, for getting some grocery. Even these things are being taken care of by these community groups. And even they have dancing parties and etc., etc. For senior citizens. And I mean, lot of measurements are possible. We can have a number of contributing members, total registered, and etc. Average contribution made per member, etc., etc. And we can also create network maps, how the community has spread over and sometimes we can have measure return on investment, because creating an online conference costs money, whereas certain communities, they just serve the same purpose at very, very low cost. And the value of to the individual, we have to ask the community of practice members, and we have to keep up to date with the current thinking. And we can also create measure value by collaboration. Yes, Woman Anonymous. Yes. I mean, the possibilities are huge. Even this, all the students who were, who were trapped in Ukraine, they had their own group and which they helped each other when they came out of Ukraine during wartime, all the Indian students. And that group from 0 to 5,000, it became active in hardly 3 or 4 days. So the lesson learned, we have to take some time over it. And quite often the lessons learned are very subtle. They are in our subconscious, but quantifying them is an effort. And the top tips: identify and look after your people who the leader must take care of the people who actually contribute, and let everyone drive their own experimentation, their own topics, target and support ideas which are needed, build trust and relationships face to face where possible, and sometimes use online conferences, hot seats. I mean, there are a lot of possibilities. We are even now thinking of creating a radio, internet radio for as a community where anybody can come and speak anything, and don't force people to collaborate. It's not possible. And assume that everyone knows something to contribute, and some kind of command or control should be there. And because some people do try to spoil the community, and they should be, I mean, the leader must make sure that the objective of the group or the target of the group is continuously there. So, and whenever possible, if the community dies, let go, close the group. And on a day, I mean, when the objective of the group has been achieved, it is okay. Make a list of all the archives, support, I mean, collect them, and then let go. There are a lot of books on this, on community of practice. I have this Tribes by Seth Godin. This is a very, very good book. And Cultivating Communities of Practice. These two books I have. They are pretty good. And we can just, I'll share Tribes, the audio book I have. Cultivating Communities of Practice does not have an audio. So as mankind moves into 21st century, so we have to change, and we have to, I mean, because communities of practice are basically knowledge management tools, and how knowledge circulates is according to the 21st century. So with this we end.
Sanjay, could you just throw some light on how this community of practice is applicable to our MERP?
To our MERP, very simple.
MERP, yeah.
Very simple, ma'am. Yes.
Just elaborate on that, please.
I mean, supposing in MERP, we have got different topics, people who are focused on assessment. There are people who are focused on teaching learning methods. There are people who are focused on different kinds of topics. Just create sub-networks. And also, I mean, we have already created, I mean, a lot of groups are there which are already functioning. And we can just come up with those. And also 42 courses, and each course has a community of practice associated with this, and which continues with this. Dr. Chinmay, after this, Dr. Chinmay has to take a session, and Dr. Swapnil, can you ask me your question?
Like I would have a couple of comments.
Yes.
Like the video, Yuval Noah Harari is the leading anthropologist now. He's recognized, and he says that we are different from, say, chimpanzees because we know how to be in groups to collaborate. Another thing is that, and in his book Sapiens, he has outlined how
Yes.
matter evolved and what is chemistry and what is
Yes.
biology. That can be used in your videos, sir. Actually, those exact what he has said or
Yeah, very nicely he has it described that.
described. But of course, when you created the video, Sapiens was not there, I think, in 2014.
Yes.
No, Sapiens was before that. I think Sapiens was 2012 when the
Okay,
Homo
okay.
Deus came
Later.
in 16. In 16 it came,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And so, like about informal groups, I have just one comment to make that the Lee Iacocca, of course, we know, was CEO of, was president of Ford Motor Company, and he had an informal group during lunchtime, which created the Ford Mustang. And what an
Okay.
iconic car the Mustang is, because Iacocca never had a lunch without alone. So, and then a group of friends gathered together and went along and had a chat, and that is how they created this iconic car called a Ford Mustang. At that time, Iacocca was probably the vice president, and then he was promoted.
Yes. In fact, there was a club called Homebrew Club, in which Bill Gates, as an 18-year student, used to be in New York, and from that the DOS appeared and the computer evolved.
Okay.
Because the activities of
So actually, Bill Gates and Paul Allen were buddies. They were very good friends.
Yes.
And when Bill Gates was studying at Harvard, he went back, and then he said that this computer revolution cannot happen without us. And then Paul Allen typed those 2 + 2 = 4. That was the first program ever typed.
Yes.
You must have read in Innovators. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Dr. Priya.
Sir, I just wanted to thank you for the MEU community. Now I understood that I am one of the lurkers. I am just a member, silent reader. But it is a very helpful one because we get regular updates in mail and so many resources, and we get opportunity to learn from the experts. So it is a wonderful community, and I feel very great to be part of it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Chinmay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, over to you.
Okay, sir. Okay. So let me share my screen.
Yes, I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
Dr. Adkoli is also there.
Yeah, so I was a little bit afraid.
I think he has a sore throat.
Okay.
So I don't know whether he will speak because he said he has acute
Yes,
cold.
he has got a sore throat.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Now, what is the meaning of, so thank you very much, sir, for an enlightenment on the topic of community of practice and collaboration. And here is my first slide. I would like to have a reaction of everybody on this slide. Why I have put this slide today? Any guess? Specifically, I would like to have a comment from our faculties.
We are all we are a part of the community, so happy community.
Yes, happy community.
Very welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. And today we are more happy because the number of participants are 27.
Exactly. Yes, 29 for some time it was. So I'm really happy that the last session we have a good number.
Yeah. So this is also one of the community of practice, that is MERP. And so let's start from the last session. What Bedi sir has taken. I have one question for all of you. What do you mean by integration versus collaboration? Because I think we have learned about collaboration and very nicely explained by sir. So what do you mean, or what is the difference between integration and collaboration? Please write in the chat box. So please write in the chat box. What do you mean by integration versus collaboration? Yes, in collaboration we communicate, contribute. Okay. Okay, please go ahead. So excellent. So I am just sharing the views. Integration, there is only unified whole. Yes. If we Okay. Combine and compact effect, but in collaboration, there is a multiplication of the contributions. Exactly. Very good, Dr. Sandhya. So I had just searched the Google when the session was going on, and I got something like this. Integration requires collaboration as a precondition, but collaboration doesn't require integration. And if you want to see by a picture, this is the difference between collaboration and integration. In terms of teachers, in terms of medical education, that if we have a collaboration, here the collaboration between the faculty and teachers who are having the same content area and they are liking the course, aligned to same course standard and same artifact and same rubrics. While if you go for integration, it will be the different courses, different content area. They are from the different courses and there are some common artifact, but rubrics will be different. So this is in nutshell, in one slide, we can say the difference between collaboration and integration. Okay. So going further, what we are going to discuss in coming 15-20 minutes is effect of national education policy, or what is the view of NEP 2020 on scholarship of integration. And when we are looking on it, we can see the future of MER based on this NEP 2020. So let's see one by one initially, and then we will see the combined. So I would like to thank MERP team, especially Adkoli sir and Professor Sutten, because the contents are from different sources. And as you all have rightly given your comments in previous question, I consider it as a dialogue rather than monologue. So anybody want to say anything regarding NEP 2020, regarding scholarship or regarding integration or anything? Anyone want to speak? Please unmute yourself and please say your view on NEP 2020 in regards to scholarship of integration.
Chinmay, one thing means I have not read actually the national education policy, but what the Prime Minister was saying about the way teaching learning occurs to the force is mainly communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and then going on to creativity. And the teacher also should have connect with the students.
Okay, yes. And when we use the word connect, it brings us to the last conference, human connect. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so let me summarize in one slide what NEP 2020 means. So it says that better soft skill, technical skills, human values, competencies, respects unity in the diversity, good grasp of mother tongue, fun and activity-based learning, simple curriculum, lesson number of book. Okay. No exam fear, no rote learning. So what problems we are facing or we think are the problems are taken care by NEP 2020. And one of the important part is the integration. So now let's see further. Second part, what is scholarship? As we have already have a session on scholarship, I expect a response from all the participants. What do you mean by scholarship?
Should I answer or no?
Yeah. We can wait for 10 seconds or so if somebody else want to answer. Otherwise, you can definitely go ahead. Yes, Dr. Yeah. Dr. Sandhya, please say your view.
Sir, in a scholarship, we work on some new ideas and do research on medical education, and then we publish it. So
Okay.
that is the scholarship in the
Okay.
public domain.
Public domain. Okay. The second response is fund contributed for the studies. Okay. Now here I would like to ask Medha Madam to please.
5 P's. We talked about 5 P's when we talk about scholarship, right? Public platform, process, yes, peer reviewed. There's nothing to do with the funding. Funding, scholarship is for the students to study and all. That's a different scholarship. That is how we call it as a scholarship. In other countries, it is called as bursary also. But here, when we're talking about scholarship in MERP, it is related to your publication, but publication need not be only in journals, but we have different levels of publications also, but all depends on the 5 Ps that we discussed, right? Yes, Chinmay.
Yeah.
Actually, we know very well that Ernst Boyer was a Carnegie Mellon,
Yes.
Carnegie Foundation scholar, and
Carnegie Mellon, yeah.
who wanted to put teaching also in the midst, apart from research, and he proposed 4 scholarships: scholarship of discovery, then
Wait.
No, before that, you should define what is scholarship.
Yeah.
Then you go for
Oh.
different types of
Oh.
scholarship.
Yeah. That
What
is
we are
my
asking is, what is scholarship?
Okay. Now, I'll just, what I read in the MERP book, like, suppose if I'm teaching and I'm teaching without doing any reflection or going through the best practices, then maybe I'm just teaching. If I'm going through the reflecting, maybe sometimes publishing, then taking feedback from students, not getting it peer reviewed, not publishing, then it is scholarship. And scholarship of teaching and learning, should I speak on that, or scholarship?
Swapnil, what you said, the second one where you are reflecting and discussing, that is not it's a scholarly work. But
it's a scholarship approach, yeah.
It's a scholarly work or scholarly approach. But when you actually publish it, whether it is in the form of a poster or a paper or whatever it could be, then it becomes a scholarship.
So when it qualify after 5 Ps, it becomes scholarship. So actually, my next question was actually Dr. Swapnil was trying to answer is my next question. What are the types of scholarship you all are aware of? So I know Dr. Swapnil is aware of it. So other than him, please write. Please, you can just write whatever is coming to your mind. Types of scholarship. If you can just remind our today's topic, that is also one of the answers.
Yeah.
Well, and probably Glassick gave this scholarship of teaching and learning, and I'm not and
Not
scholarship
Glassick,
integration.
Not Glassick.
Who met them?
Glassick gave the things 6 steps
Criteria.
for criteria. It was
Okay.
the Glassick. The 2 books, Boyer it is. Boyer has written a scholarship revisited, and scholarship is by Boyer. From Carnegie Mellon, what you're talking about is Boyer.
So I think let's go ahead with the types of scholarships. So there are 4 types of scholarship: scholarships of discovery, scholarships of integration, scholarships of application, and scholarship of teaching. So you will know the details in our MERP book. So those who have this book and they have gone through the chapter, they are well aware of it. Let me describe a little bit detail on each one of these. So we have a brief idea.
Chinmay, one more scholarship we need to add to this is the scholarship of SOTL, teaching and learning.
So actually, I think that is, madam, if will it be similar with the scholarship of teaching?
No, it's a little different. So it has to be a 5th one. You can add it as SOTL.
SOTL. Okay, madam. Sure.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, ma'am. So that I think we have a last session was on SOTL.
Yeah.
Last session. So scholarship of discovery, integration, application, and teaching. So what is scholarship of discovery? It includes traditional research activities and publication that broaden the knowledge of our discipline, like review papers, empirical research, development of new theories of concepts in their own discipline. So that is scholarship of discovery. Now we go to the second, that is a scholarship of application, which calls for a theory in practice, including using the theories or ideas from other disciplines. For example, reviewing for journals, utilizing the learnings from the publications of others, to improve our own practice, creating a curriculum or teaching learning method using a constructs of theory and evidence-based fact. So whatever theory is available, when we start applying it and fulfilling all the criteria of scholarship, it becomes scholarship of application. Next is scholarship of teaching. Here interchangeably, some places it is using as a SOTL 2. It involves developing a new and evidence-based way to facilitate and assess the learning. For example, a presentation of systematic review of effectiveness of methods used for assessment, and it will be actually discussed in a few chapters in case of our book. And last is a scholarship of integration. What is integration? As we all know, it makes the links across the disciplines. So each word is important, makes a links across the discipline. What they do, that fosters contextualizing and using a concept across the discipline. Is it clear? For example, a systematic review of faculty development, cross-disciplinary research, using practice from one discipline to inform and adapt practice in another discipline, such as using a gaming for robotic surgery skill development, using online OSPI, using what we can say in Microsoft PowerPoint online in case of during COVID for integrating it into skill development. Okay, so why it is needed? There are two reasons. One is there are some disintegration in current medical education and practice which are there, and second is long overdue of national medical integration of healthcare delivery through methodologically diverse streams of intervention. So these are the two things. Okay, and because of these two reasons, so I think it is very clear to everyone. If we look at these two reasons, one is the current disintegration and second is overdue of methodologically diverse streams of intervention. So if we integrate these two things, we achieve our result. Any query up to this point? Any query? Because now you have to work on for a few minutes on your own, and so that's why I'm asking. Any queries? Yes, Kumari Sandhya.
Sir, can we say that this disintegration will result in the holistic approach of the medical services?
Disintegration or integration? Hello?
Sorry, integration. Integration,
Yeah,
because it is already disintegrated.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So now comes NEP and integration. What NEP says regarding integration is integration of vocational education within higher education. At least 50% of learners to have exposure to vocational education by 2025, and integration of vocational education with higher education. This is inside the higher education and this is with higher education. So keeping this in mind regarding NEP policy as well as the need of integration, I request all of you to please work on it. I request Bedi sir to make a 3 group. So group 1 will focus more on why. They will elaborate the need of scholarship of integration. Group 2 will elaborate on how, and group 3, how we can evaluate what we have done. So sir, can we have a group? And this group will work for around 7 minutes in their own.
So I'm creating the groups.
Yeah, group 1, why, group 2, how, and group 3 is how we can evaluate what we have done.
Okay.
Any questions?
So I'm creating the groups now. Please join your respective groups. Ma'am, group 1 is why, group 2 is जिनमें वो जो स्क्रीन है क्या है ग्रुप
क्या सर?
वो ग्रुप 1 is why, group 2 is
how,
or group 3
how you can evaluation of
okay. I'm going to different groups.
So I have already, sir, gone to the 1 and 2nd group. You can just go through group 3, sir.
Okay. So Chinmay, I think 7 minutes are over. So can we stop the groups?
I
Chinmay?
think, sir, yes, I think, sir, we can wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we can stop.
Okay.
So once they come back, they will discuss and then I will just summarize and then the session will be over, sir.
Okay. I have shared the new education policy on the WhatsApp groups.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have just seen. कहाँ गए बेदी सर? बेदी सर नहीं, अडकोली सर.
But Kohli sir has got a sore throat today.
I'm surprised Nima didn't join today.
I'm
Good
there.
evening.
I'm there, Meda.
You're okay. You're,
Good evening, ma'am.
Name is admin.
oh, you're joined as admin. Okay. I was looking for Nima.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was wondering why Nima is missing.
No, I'm there. I'm not feeling well, but I'm there.
Why?
I think now we can close the room.
I think so.
Okay.
Because they started discussing something else.
Okay, so I'm closing the room.
Yeah.
So welcome back, everyone. I think everybody are back. No, few are still left.
17 seconds.
Okay.
Group 3 is still discussing. Yes, all are back.
Okay, great. So everyone back. So from group 1, who would like to share? Yes, group 1.
One is that why scholarship of integration is required. That was our
Discussion point. Yes.
yes. So it is taking ideas or solutions from one domain and applying it to another domain. Like simulation was there in aviation, and now we have simulation, and a Stanford doctor adopted it for medicine. Similarly, Western medicine doesn't Western way of teaching. One is teaching, one is education, and other is practice of medicine. Western medicine doesn't has focused more on rote memorization, so to say, or in the past, and we are still stuck there. And the critical thinking approaches have not developed in our students, probably because we have not cultivated them. So taking this idea from our Gurukuls to develop a critical thinking approach. And Western medicine doesn't offer all the solutions. Like in case of malaria, it didn't offer all the solutions. So Chinese scientists Yo-Yo, led by Yo-Yo, Chinese team led by Yo-Yo, discovered all the artemisins from Chinese herbal medicines. So that sort of integration is required for medicine, for better medical care.
Okay. Anybody else want to add anything?
I would like to add, like I've seen recently in the news that the Chinese people are protesting against the restriction regarding this COVID virus. So like since I'm still very junior, I just wanted to know, like, is the COVID cases very high in China, or is there restriction going on too much?
Sorry, but I think
That is.
Madam, China is just as a wall to you as it is to us.
One cannot acquire all the knowledge by ourselves. So whenever some new ideas happen elsewhere, then we have to incorporate that into our system. That is when we integrate.
Yes, excellent. Anybody else? I think Adukole sir has already put in 2 lines. When 2 or more will integrate, and sir has given an example of excellent biotechnology, biostat, genetic engineering, and even our medical education technology. So what we are doing is integration of different things. And if you just look at our COVID scenario, how we overcome it. It is with the integration of not within the higher education, but with the higher education and different streams. We have taken use of engineering, we have used architectural, deep thinking, AI, and machine learning, and everything we have used and we are using till today. Yes, Asa Madam, medical innovations, and all these require integration of different streams. And if we look at the second questions of different pathis, Ayurvedic, homeopathic, Siddha, Unani, and our allopathy, if we look at the COVID, simultaneously everybody were working, even yoga people were also working. So everybody were working in integration to fight against the COVID. So these are the reasons why we need to go for a scholarship of integration. Now, second is how. Group 2. Who is presenting from group 2?
Sir, it seems everyone is new in this group. So we could not have a good discussion also. But anyway, I will like to speak few words that how just now we were having a session that community participation is the main thing. So we can make a group of community who is having same type of ideas, and we can work together, integrate together with the help of this community practice between the in the higher group, the higher education, and with the higher education and different group. Just like right now you said that AI can be used, AI is being used. So here also we can take the use of AI and we can integrate different, what should I say, since we are having a group of community practice, that is the main thing.
Excellent.
And after that, we can integrate with each other and we will certainly come to a conclusion. Not much I can say.
Okay, anybody else want to add anything? Excellent, right?
So basically, you're talking about the methods. I think you're talking about the social media, internet,
Yeah,
and methodology.
yeah. So can you elaborate on it, sir?
So just like sharing of ideas, and what we are doing in this group, like that, some new ideas, somebody it's there, we are trying to incorporate that, sir. I'm just even I'm not able to tell in detail, sir, but I think the modalities will be maybe we can discuss over groups or I mean online discussion. So that is discussing the idea and incorporating. I'm not able to tell exactly, sir. Just
no problem. Anybody else want to add anything?
Like, can I?
Yeah, please.
That I think we should also means our national education policies focusing on it, have a holistic education for our students, both at the school level and at the undergraduate level, more holistic education. So that will foster the culture of having integration.
Yeah, great. Anybody else?
Sorry, I would like to add one more.
Please.
Since I'm from biochemistry department, like we have to do so many laboratory works. And besides that, we have to teach the students as well. And then the problem is that, like, I'm not trying to, offend anyone. The thing is that the biochemistry is a different scope. So pathology is a different scope, and pathology is a bigger, department. I can say that. So like, is biochemistry under pathology, or are we different, or?
So when you merge with each other, it becomes integration. Rather than thinking differently, rather than keeping one under another. If we merge with each other, it becomes integration. Okay, anybody else?
Sir, I will like to add one thing.
Yeah.
In the light of this national education policy, since it has introduced one very good thing, that is the credit hours, and there is a freedom when you want to take a leave, or you want to work for some time, you want to study for some time, you want to study at one place, then you want to go to some other place. So it has given a freedom, and this freedom can be used in this integration more, because when you are moving at different places, then you can integrate with more number of groups.
Great. Yeah. So ultimately, all the objective is to foster the growth of each other and to go more and more holistically, rather than right now we are in the having everything in the compartment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So excellent contribution from all of you. I think we can go to group 3. How we can evaluate?
Rashmi, will you tell? So we were thinking of OSPI, MCQs, case scenarios, case discussions.
Okay. And okay, anything else?
So we can show the videos and we can ask questions.
Now let me put the same word in some another way. Consider we have done the integration. Yes, sir. Sujit sir, please go ahead.
So what I thought is it depends on what system we are adopting, sir. The evaluation depends on what we are trying to adapt. In different scenarios, you require different evaluation.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Sandhya.
Yes, sir. It will depend upon which domain we are working upon.
Okay.
And upon that only the assessment method will be decided.
So now what word you have used just now? Depending on that, can you repeat your last sentence, Dr. Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
Just repeat your last sentence. So depending on that, we can have our
Domain.
And then what we have used word? Assessment.
Assessment, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, means I was thinking that it is relating to evaluation, so it is related to the whole program per se, I think.
Exactly. So what I was let me put the questions in other perspective. That consider that you have started doing integration of different systems, and it is a one project. As we do different projects, for example, OSPI versus traditional examination, Blackboard versus PPT. Same way, consider that you have taken one particular, for example, I take up from physiology respiratory system, and now I am trying to take integration of biotechnology in the respiratory system and put one module. Okay. And once that teaching module is having a person from physiology, person from anatomy, person from biotechnology, person from biochemistry, and if I fulfill all the criteria of a scholarship, it will become scholarship of integration. That I have done one module which qualify for the scholarship of integration, and now I want to evaluate it. So how can I go for it? So simply we can say that we can go for 360-degree evaluation of all the stakeholders, administrator, faculty, and everyone. And what you are all telling are exactly we can use, but that all will be used for the student assessment, and that also can be evaluated by 360-degree evaluation. Anybody, other faculty want to add anything? Medha madam, Rege madam, Vedi sir, or Adkoli sir want to add anything?
Yeah, if we are talking about program evaluation, we could use other models also for program evaluation. For example, SIP model could be used here because this is a new program. So we are looking at the content, the process and inputs, everything, and how it is. So SIP model could be used very I think, effectively to see how the program is working or how it is going on. So that is one aspect that we can look at.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So this is a picture of COVID, which has taught us lot many things. So ultimately, why we all are doing all these things? So who is in the center? So if you look at this picture, there are two things in the center. Actually, everything is in the center, but we are starting with the student and ending into the patients. So ultimately, everything is done for the patient as far as the outcome of patient is concerned. And when you go for education, it represents the students' learning. So this is the integration of scholarship in medical education and practice, which has a knowledge and dissemination between patient and student, between teacher and student, and between doctor and patients. So ultimately, if we look at our Indian medical graduate, what we want to achieve should ultimately culminate into outcome of patient. So we want to have good patient outcome with the good students learning, and it requires integration between all these three pillars of integration, that is doctor, teacher, or patient and student. And as we all have also discussed during your feedback in all these three groups, this is also one of the way we can go for integration of scholarship of integration. So what we are doing is patient-centered assessment, shared online portfolio, peer review, peer assessment, evidence-based audit. So when we go for all these things, it will become a scholarship of integration. Here they have written Ayush means Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, and we can also add our modern medicines. And one more word came up is case-based blended learning ecosystem. So if we are doing this, it results into scholarship of integration. Yes, Dr. Sandhya? Ma'am, please.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Since we are having this triangular pattern where the community is there, patient is there, and supervised student is there, and doctor teachers are there. So basically the outcome we have to see, final outcome should be in the patient, and that we can say in the community. So will it be okay to just assess the changes in the community? What impact has come on the community of this program? That will be the best evaluation method?
Up to a certain extent, I will say yes. So that will be actually, when we plan anything, there are something known as immediate outcome, something known as short-term outcome, and something known as long-term outcome. So what you said is ultimately our long-term outcome, but it will take 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, or 10 year to occur. Before that, if you want to assess the short-term outcome, then we will go for improvement in the student. So we can divide that. For short-term outcome, we will look at the student, and for long-term outcome, we can look at the community.
Thank you.
Can I just intervene?
Sir, please.
Yeah. I don't know whether I am audible properly. My throat is bad. A very good question put by Sandhya. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, the outcomes are like that. First outcome is, teaching, learning which takes place. And from teacher, it transfers to student. Now you are increasing student competency. Student competency is again translated into the services at the end of the community. And again, the community, the outcome is the health of the community. It's a continuous, it's called program logic model. Program logic model means from one end, you are connecting the other end like a chain, but you can't directly assess, you can't ignore the student's assessment at all. And just say that I want to see how the health outcome is. Okay, so this is a very genuine question. But now NAAC has also realized one of the important change which is happening is in the NAAC system itself. They were very much concentrating on various processes, teaching learning processes, investment in teaching. Now, these are faculty development also is an indirect method, isn't it? So some people are raising question, why you are assessing the inputs and the process? Why not you directly go to the outcome of students? You test the students at the end of MBBS, and if they are good, then you certify that the institute gets accredited. Okay, so this debate is going on, but because process and product is a continuous process results in product. Am I right? So that is why we are focusing on the process and assuming that the process contributes to product, isn't it? It's a very good question. Debate is going on, but we need to define our outcomes at various levels and in what way we can measure the outcomes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. As we have seen here, that integration of system, integration of different disciplines, and as if you continue the same questions of Dr. Sandhya, it results in my next slide that ultimately our goal is patient satisfaction. So if we look at the integrated care of the patient, the integration can be in the service, it can be in the clinical side, it can be in the functional, and it can be organizational. But when we are here in the session of MERP, this all will become scholarship of integration only if we fulfill all the criteria of scholarship, that is 5P.
Yes.
So anything, either teaching or research or combined, ultimately the center of our all activity will be integrated care of the patient. So I think this is all from my side. Any questions or any input from any one of you?
There was a query about whether scholarship of integration is separate. There was a query, and it depends on how you define. Because scholarship of integration, teaching and learning is nothing but a combination of teaching addressed to research. You are creating evidence. So creating evidence is important. In what evidence you create? Publication is one evidence, but poster designing also can be an evidence. And the evidence of your impact of guest lectures which you take place also can be evidence.
Yes.
The number of training programs you conduct also can be evidence. So when you assess SOTL, scholarship of teaching and learning, you have to use the parameters according to the person's choice or whatever he can do best. So the future belongs to maybe a combination of SOTL. A teacher may say that, sir, I want to do a project. Then you fix weightage for his project, research project. Somebody may say, I'm not interested in, I am a good teacher, I am a passionate teacher. So I want to create a network of teachers. Okay. So the evaluation should depend on the teacher's choice, because he will do the best when it comes from his own choice. Theory of, it's called theory of self-determination. Self-determination theory tells that when you support, when you give choice, and when you feel the person competent, if these three factors combine, motivation is infinite. But if you look at what is happening, these things will never join. If you take the routine curriculum, there is no choice. In medical education, till we have to wait for a time when we introduce choice-based. Somebody pointed out that credit system and a choice-based is very important. So you give choice. Then you give mentoring support. There is not much of mentoring which is happening, isn't it? It's routine teaching. So mentoring also you take care. And you take care of the competency. So if competency, mentoring, and the third element of choice, they combine, you can achieve anything. Okay, this is one message I wanted to tell you. The second message is that the new national education policy, what is its aspiration? It wants the higher education to go interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary, okay? Because the university is set up in the traditional way, it has not created job market, it has not created revenue for the country in terms of research, innovation, intellectual property. Intellectual property is the thing which government is trying to harness, because Dr. Sanjay Bedi very nicely said, knowledge economy. Knowledge economy means knowledge is the power. So your knowledge will determine your economy. So the aspiration of the new national education policy is to create research and innovation ecosystem. See this beautiful word, research, innovation, ecosystem. What is ecosystem? Ecosystem consists of infrastructure, giving support, giving ambience, handholding, guiding, all these things, incubation, what is it? Incubating centers. So these are very, very important. So research, innovation, ecosystem is the thing, and medical education, research should naturally find place in this scheme of things. We have discussed this in the last chapter of the book. So I invite you to read it again. Thank you. Thank you, Chinmay.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your input, and even of your bad health, you are here to help us out. Thank you.
I thought it is a last session, so I should not miss.
Yes.
I hope I would try little bit justice to.
No. You see, today both the sessions were excellent. And this is the message which we want to leave: community of practice and scholarship of integration.
Thank you.
We want to bring them together.
Any last put from your side, or?
My side is, both the sessions were really good, and I'm so happy to see the number of participants today. Thank you all for attending this session. And I hope you have enjoyed the whole course and taken something from this course, which you will be able to apply it for your day-to-day practice, or maybe that has inspired you to go ahead and do some research in medical education. And then that would be the best tribute or best thing that you can give a take-home thing for our course that we have run here.
One
Thanks.
small comment, Dr. Mehta.
Yes,
because
sir.
today we are told about COP.
Oh.
And one of the things which we have not highlighted sufficiently is sharing credit.
Yes.
For the sharing credit is very, very important.
Yes.
So I take this opportunity to share the credit to you and Nima and the whole team.
It's a teamwork, so it's a teamwork.
No, it's a teamwork, but you should feel happy.
Yeah.
That, in spite of the so many problems here and there, problem of attendance, problem of low motivation, etc., you did not give up. You continued your interest, and the participants is an indication to show that everyone is transformed now. They are transformed individuals. They value the importance of the course now. So we are leaving the message with this good note, and I'm very happy and I'm thankful to you and the whole team.
Thank you so much, sir, for putting so much of faith in us that we will be able to carry on the process on our things. With your guidance, it has been really a great thing to run the courses. With Nima as an able co-chair, I should say.
Co-chair.
Nima is there?
Yeah.
Yes, Nima is there, but she's also not well.
Okay.
She's also not keeping well. So Chinmay, Sanjay, Harshal, Amita, and Nima, of course, and sir, all of you, thank you, a big thank you. And
Sanjay?
All of you are
Yes,
participants. Without your contribution, this wouldn't have been possible. So thanks a lot.
I am sure that Sanjay will play a very active role in continuing this COP, because that is dear to his heart. And today's his presentation was superb. And he has, customized it to so well, considering his experience also. So I really enjoyed his presentation today, Sanjay. I'm sure that you will be able to help formation of COP.
Yes, sir. I mean, we are looking for creating COPs which are disease theme based. I mean, different diseases. I mean, for orthopedics, for bone diseases, for lung diseases, and also for general public.
It's a good idea.
Patient self-help group communities. That is
I will give you an interesting example. Diabetes, for example. Okay. Diabetes care requires very holistic approach, not necessarily endocrinologist. It requires dietitian, it requires educators, it requires lifestyle changes. So
it requires a food
exercise,
management.
Sports specialist, maybe exercise specialists, and psychosocial humanities for stress management, yoga teachers. So when you bring all these people together, you can really combat diabetes. Otherwise, if we create only diabetologists, we will not be escaping from the diabetes. We continue to be the capital of diabetes in the world.
Yes, that is, in fact, working on a nutrition group against diabetes. it's fun. I am amazed at the results. Even I lost 14 kgs.
Yeah.
It's just the nutrition group.
No, it's very interesting.
Yes, sir.
I will share my experience with you separately of reversing diabetes.
Yes,
Okay.
you all brought this point. Right now, I'm on CGM and I'm on a low carb, high fat diet. In a matter of 3 weeks, my insulin has come down to just 1/3. You know, you
Great.
said India is the second highest global capital of the world for diabetes. And I was all the time insulin was increased. I get hypoglycemic, I heat, then hyperglycemia, like that. But now I'm under the care of one person called Vipul Dalal. So depression, the psychiatrist, the dietitian, everything what you just said, the community of practices and collaboration is so very important, sir. Thank you for bringing that point. And I take this opportunity to thank all my teachers. But in between, I had many other things. So I will get back after I read the book and put my comments in MERP3, sir. Thank you very much.
Definitely. Anytime.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really impressed by your interest and your participation. I think you are one of the few participants along with Dr. Priya and Dr. Rashmi who have been consistent in attending these courses throughout. So thank you very much for your
Single class,
contribution.
despite my exams and things
Yes,
like that.
yes, that's why I really appreciate that.
So I think we can end it now.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
नहीं अच्छे तेरे तो टाइम है 22 अप्रैल है
30th मार्च अच्छा रहेगा सर मुझे ऐसा लगता है क्योंकि रामनवमी है ना और
Yes, Dr. Madhav, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Madhav, for the nice words. Anybody else? In fact, we are now creating a lot of communities on Telegram for all CBMEs, and also we are creating subject-specific communities, and also disease-related communities in which we have a social cause, a 5 a.m. club. All this, I mean, are planned for the coming year. By the end of 2023, we will see we will be expanding into multiple communities in coming days. So I'll stop sharing, and maybe I'll see if I can show you what we have. Yes. This is our Telegram. There's a 5 a.m. club, there is a book club, there is a male genital system, female genital immunology, endocrine. They are integrated learning platforms basically. And we have added a lot of videos in them. Then gastrointestinal tract groups. So yes. So gradually, this is expanding just like an atom per day, a gene per day, and gradually it will spread all over the country. We are now planning on a class on examination techniques for undergraduate students and how to overcome fear of examinations, etc. That is coming on 14th. So that will be taken by Dr. Jyotsna. So I think we can end now. We need a lot of volunteers, especially in clinical subjects. We still have not been able to do CBME surgery, CBME medicine, CBME orthopedics, and anesthesia. So we need some volunteers for these topics, these subjects. So thank you. I think I can stop here now.